Today's marketers are all looking for new ways to find and attract their ideal audience. But in the fast-paced and ever-evolving digital marketing landscape, it is getting harder and harder to reach your people and to get appropriate results. This is where artificial intelligence plays an important role in marketing. Hey people, how's it going? Welcome back to yet another interesting episode on the Marketing Manifest podcast. Today's episode is kind of different from the other ones, and today we are talking completely about technology, artificial intelligence, and whatnot, and like how these are being influenced in the field of marketing, customer experiences, etc. To take it further, let me introduce to Srinivas Muralidharan. Hey Srinivas, how are you doing?
Hey Emil, I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good as well. So talking about Srinivas is a part-time freelancer and pursuing his master's in artificial intelligence at Vrije Universiteit in Amsterdam. He has been nurtured with the skill set of web and app development technologies, data analysis, and machine learning technologies professionally. He's into AI, not to really innovate in terms of tech, but to innovate the society and environment around us. He's an enthusiast in learning about more tech and understanding the real need for technology to only facilitate people's life. He's also a nascent entrepreneur who's attempting hard in his research to bring the best out of his knowledge and values for the people to cherish in the best possible way. He's also consulting a few startups in terms of web and app development recently. Without further ado, let's get into today's episode. So Srinivas, let's start with this basic question. So what exactly is AI in marketing, and how did this concept of clustering consumer behaviors to predict the future behaviors began?
So basically, if you see, I think everyone knows the basic notion of AI and artificial intelligence and how it came upon. So basically, technology was growing, and at a certain point, innovation was kind of hindering, and we wanted some other innovative ideas to come into tech, and that came AI, data analysis. Data analysis was part of AI technology always. It was booming when AI was there. So basically, when you talk about marketing, maybe in traditional manner, we used to go to, for example, if you take any product, those days, olden days, people used to go to stand in front of other houses or other clients' location. They used to say, this is my product with a small pamphlet on their hand, and this is what we do, this is what our company do, and this is what the product does. But later on, when tech came into place, we have our digital marketing in hand, and when Facebook entered, we had a separate digital marketing tool, and Instagram have their own digital marketing tools. And right now, we are in a position where we have to try to understand people's psychology. People's psychology is something really very much in interaction with AI. So AI is basically, it's not any rocket science. It's basically putting human intelligence into an artificial machine. So when you're going to trying to understand user's mind or user's behavior, obviously you need their psychology to be understood. So in that sense, AI make algorithms that understand users' behavior and user psychology, and that's how marketing teams up with AI nowadays. And as you had asked the second question, if I'm not wrong, how about clustering people and predicting the future?
Yeah. So
clustering people, we can take an example again. Say Amazon. So when you click on a product, Amazon gives you recommendations the very next day, but nowadays it gives you next minute itself. It says you get these headphones because you bought the headphones before, whatever brand you bought. So in that sense, there are two kind of concepts here. One is collaborative filtering, another is item-based filtering. Collaborative filtering collaborates all the users, similar kind of users. For example, say I buy an iPhone and you also buy an iPhone. So it makes sure that, okay, these guys buy an iPhone for a particular reason. And that reason is supposed to be same amongst me and you. You buy an iPhone for some, maybe you say you like the brand, even I buy an iPhone because I like the brand. So we fall into the same cluster. And that's how it predicts the future behavior of a particular cluster. So same way goes for item-based filtering as well. Item-based is nothing but product-based, the feature-based. If an iPhone has a very good sound system, so similar phones which have a very good sound system are clustered, and that's how it's being predicted among the users as well. So this is how marketing and the kind of digital marketing is engaging with the AI, and it's growing. I don't say it's not growing or it's not really in the starting stage. It's trying to grow. It's learning the people's process.
I mean, like this, I just feel is like marketing. I mean, when AI is combined with marketing, I feel it's like the process is really beautiful, because like as you said, like if one guy buys a headphone and he automatically gets maybe a pop-up or a notification maybe after a month or a week saying that there is another headphone that has been launched in the industry, and maybe you want to check it out. So all this is because of marketing, and I mean AI in marketing, right? I feel the process over there is like really beautiful when you're actually combining the technology with the marketing goal is where your what do you say? So is where that product actually sells out in the industry really well. So like
exactly.
So right now when we think of like artificial intelligence, like movies like Terminator or the younger generation movie called like Wall-E comes into mind, right? So depending on which movie you watched, your perception of the future of AI can be either scary or beautiful, right? So but whereas when you come to the marketing side, what's the perception over here and what's exactly the difference over here?
So when you said about the movies concept, so there are movies which makes you scary as well and also makes it beautiful. For example, if you take the Tamil movies like Robo 1 and Robo 2, in certain scenes it makes it beautiful. The way the robot behaves with the human makes it beautiful. But in certain scenes it makes you scary because it destroys the people around you, destroys the building around you. So basically, if you see the scariness and the beautiful concept of a robot or of an artificial intelligence, depends upon how the algorithm is built, how the machine is being built in such a way that it understands the human behaviors. Suppose if the machine is said to be like, okay, he's doing something wrong, so you've got to kill him. That means it's going to kill him, right? You can't do anything else. You can't go stop a machine that is going to kill someone. You might change the algorithm after a certain point. So there was a small incident which happened on Amazon. Okay. Say, for example, Amazon built an AI which is supposed to be helping which is supposed to be supported for their hiring process. Okay. So this is a true incident. What happened was it rejected all the women and mostly the other kind of black people, I would say. Maybe to be more, it's not to be more controversial, but this did happen. So it's all based on the algorithm they have built. And again, we can't blame the AI itself. We need to be much more blaming the human who's creating the AI. So the intelligence is being given from the human. So yeah, coming to your point, what is the perspective in the same sense for marketing? Yeah, as you said, it can be beautiful and it can be scary as well. So the two things I would take up when I do AI in marketing, first thing is the strategy and next thing is the process which is involved. So I would say AI should be supportive to the humans as a tech, more than going beyond the limit and dominating the human world. It should be supportive to them. Say it strategizes plans for you, but at the same time, the process has to be led by the humans because they know how to lead a strategized plan. So in today's world, in the present generation, AI is still growing, and 80% to 70%, it is scary enough to use AI in marketing. I wouldn't say it is not really scary, but it has to learn itself in the progress. Yeah.
Awesome. That was a really good example which you showcased. Like, I don't think like not everybody knows that these two incidents happened in Amazon, but like really that was a really insightful one which you shared us now. So, what do you think is the benefit of leveraging artificial intelligence into marketing?
So, as I said, marketing strategy and marketing process is one really good benefit. And other benefits, it can increase personalization for the customers. For example, take a restaurant and you're going to market a restaurant. Okay, so in a restaurant, people eat different kinds of food, and suppose you like something like a pizza, just a pizza, or to be more specific, you like pizza with more jalapenos and mushrooms. So it becomes easier for the algorithm to understand given the data, the proper set of data, it becomes easier for the algorithm to understand, okay, Emil likes jalapenos and mushrooms on the pizza rather than having other veggies. So the personalization becomes easy for the customers, and it becomes easy to understand what the customers really like. And also the second thing I would take into content is refined delivery of content on social media.
Okay.
So if you say you're going to market something on Facebook or Instagram, the content delivery is really important. So as a marketer, the way you communicate is important, and the content you're going to produce is important. So that refinement will be really taken care by AI with the concept of natural language processing. So that's one thing which we could talk about AI, and it can decide upon what content to create and when to distribute, which is the main thing. So when you have a full-fledged AI in hand, so it can really decide upon, okay, who's my customer? Okay, Emil is my customer, and he likes mushrooms and jalapenos. I'm going to create a content for mushroom and jalapenos and pizza, and I'm going to engage him in these kind of content. So this is what an AI should look upon. And as I end up saying again for the third question, or the third scenario asked, AI is still building, man.
That was absolutely amazing. So as you said, like, as you said, so restaurants, like maybe if a marketer is trying to do marketing stuff for the restaurant and all those stuff. So let it be like whether it is an inquiry process or maybe a buying process or maybe a complaining stuff. So messaging apps such as like Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp have made easy for a customer to reach out to us in terms of like maybe if they want to like publish a review or something like that. So right now, like expert says that chatbots are the future of customer experience. So what is your thought on this?
So chatbots is really the term which is used nowadays a lot in all kinds of
I know, right?
applications and all kinds of whatever app you see, you have a chatbot to the bottom right corner which says hey chat here. That's really needed. That's really needed to support the process, because one employee can't chat with thousands of customers at the same time. So basically, I would say chatbot is something which again supports the company rather than the customer experience. I would put your perspective in different manner. When you say customer experience, it involves the psychological, the emotions, and the behavior of the customer with the product. So for example, when you say iPhone, the customer likes an iPhone and the customer experience of the iPhone, we tend to take the psychological behavior of the human with the iPhone. So we ask questions based on that. And suppose if you're using iPhone, I am a marketer person of an iPhone company. I ask you that how do you feel about this sound? You say it's really blissful or something. Yeah, that's called customer experience. So I would say there are companies which use full-fledged AI bots, but again, if your chatbot has to be really good with it, I would say go with a much more AI-fledged. I would say go with a much more emotion, much more better replying to the customers. Yeah, chatbots are really useful now to support the company process, but it is not to an extent where it's going to support the customer experience. So basically, customer experience has to be much more, it has to involve a lot of process, and still it's happening. Still AI is growing. AI is growing.
Yeah, I understand. Completely understood like whatever you said, and like, I guess that's the truth right now. Like everybody has to know, like AI is still in the development stage. It is not fully like it's not fully developed. That's what, even as you said, that's what I understood saying that. So Srinivas, modern marketing like relies more on in an in-depth understanding of customers' needs, right? And the preferences, what they need, and then the ability to act on their knowledge quickly and effectively, right? So the development and use of AI tools are still in the early stages. So what do you think is the disadvantages over here, and what can a marketer face a kind of disadvantage over here? So what is your thought on this?
So whenever you're giving a full product to you, or say a full service tool to you, you become much more confident as a user. Say, I'm ready to use this. I know how to use this. I know what is the goal of the product. But when you're given a very abrupt, very random kind of tool, where the tool is not 100% completed, nor 60 to 70% sure that it might work good, you tend to feel, okay, I'm not going to use this. So that is the perspective where the user feels AI is today. So no one is sure which is AI. Because, so in terms of technical manner, even a 2-line code could make an AI for you. But that's not the case. It's more than the code. More than the code, it's the learning process of a machine. How is it going to learn? How is it going to get the content from a user or from any kind of environment it is behaving in? So, for example, when you told modern marketing relies on depth understanding of a customer, I would give an example of Google itself. If you see Google Maps, it gives you a lot of recommendations today. When you go press the 3 hamburger function on your Google Maps, it shows you a lot of recommendations. The places you have traveled, the places you would like to travel as well. So that all depends on the way they market, the way Google Maps market to use Google Maps actually. So in that case, I would say they built their own full AI-fledged tool to make sure they engage users every day. So when a tool is not trying to engage users every day, it's lacking its facility to work on the AI tool. So I would say having a complete AI tool, you need to have each and look in every corner of how the AI is trained actually, rather than just having a tool with these functions. It should train within a click of a button. So yeah, Google could be a great example, and even Amazon is a great example for that. It's still in the building stage, and users' goal has to be much more fine-tuned. As I said, personalization is supposed to be the main concept which has to come into AI, because there are a lot of users in the world. There are a lot of different clusters of users. I like to go to Kerala. You like to go to Kerala. But someone from North India couldn't say, I like to go to Kerala. They might like to go to Shimla. That's near for them. So Google Maps will give us similar location like Shimla to them. So that's the case where the AI should grow.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I completely agree to whatever you like. I mean, Google is definitely a really good example in terms of AI, and I mean, the way they advertise their products and the way they advertise their tools and all the stuff is like really amazing. So I guess like we are almost coming to an end of the episode. Before that, I just wanted to know, what is a piece of advice you want to give the audience who's listening to this episode right now?
So I would start with the same thing. AI is something which is growing because data is being just flowing right now, and the situation right now, 2020, coronavirus, COVID, everything is online. You market yourself online, you speak online, and you also nowadays eat online. I mean, order it from Swiggy or Zomato, and artificial intelligence is actually coming into place. It's taking its place right now, and it's growing. And more the support from humans, more the artificial intelligence also can support back. It's a totally give and take policy. You give me more data, I'm going to understand you. It's as simple as it is. So yeah, and apart from that, I would say focus on the domain as well. So focusing on the domain in the sense, if you're going to build the AI in a food industry, make sure you are really good in that domain. Maybe the food industry you're in. If it's a restaurant, make sure you're good in that. Understanding the customers between the food, the psychology between the food and the humans, or psychology if you're in a mobile phone company, psychology between the phones and the humans. So a complete domain understanding is important. Straight away, you can't be an AI graduate, or you can't be an AI scholar. So AI is something intelligence. Again, I've told you, putting a human intelligence into artificial intelligence. So yeah, and make sure the last one thing I want to really stress upon is make sure AI supports the environment and the society around us, rather it supports the tech. Tech is growing, tech is anyway growing, but make sure it supports the environment in these tough times.
Awesome. So listening to what Srinivas said, I feel that AI can not only be used for uncovering hidden insights, it can also be taught and learn to incorporate previously uncovered insights to new campaigns, optimizing outreach to target only the most relevant users. Over the time, I feel that these AI solutions will definitely become even more intelligent, effectively eliminating waste leads kind of things, and greatly increasing conversion rate and promoting real-time decision making for proactive marketing. Well, that was absolutely an amazing talk what we had today, and I'm sure the audience would have loved and gained a lot of knowledge and understood the real power of AI in marketing. And thank you so much, Srinivas, for coming onto my show. It was absolutely a pleasure to have you here. And I mean, as me gaining a lot of knowledge, that is also there, right? So thank you so much for coming on to my show.
Your questions were really great in terms of what the user can understand, what the people can listen. Yeah. I hope all the users have a great time seeing a lot of episodes coming after this from you.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, if you have any queries related to AI or technology, any kind of technology related stuff, do feel free to contact Srinivas, link in the description. And with that being said, thank you all for listening to this week's episode on the Marketing Manifest podcast. I will be coming back next week with another interesting episode. Until then, stay safe and stay tuned. This is MLAG signing out. Peace out.